Friends, I think it is time to bust this mess going on with men of God in the church and all over. What you are hearing concerning Apostle Chibuzo Chinyere is just a tip of the iceberg. As a matter of fact, I witnessed in 2017 when Apostle Chibuzo Chinyere went to a brothel and preached to the prostitutes and closed down the brothel, took those prostitutes and rented apartments for them. They conducted what they call a skill acquisition, and many of them started working and all that. Perhaps that particular journey is back on track. But let me just be in position to talk to us today. And as a medical doctor, I saw a video that I want you to have what is called analytical reasoning. There's something we need to consider here. What is the agenda? Cool. What is the agenda? We actually witnessed this man collapsed in the course of traveling in an open. Was like an open embarrassment, public embarrassment anyone will feel. But let me tell you, there is a nature of man that is in the issue of vengeance. If somebody disappoint, offend, or in any way makes something that you didn't like, you will not wish the person well. That is the nature of man. And you, having has not such bitterness, seeing this man collapse in the open, the first thing nature gives you is joy that karma has come after you, or God is fighting on your behalf. Why this man, how it survived it, because most likely to have a heart-related problem. Right now, no one has been able to know the state of his recovery from this particular incident. As the man didn't die, because if he had died, the matter would have been over. As the man didn't die, less than 1 month, a lady showed up and started telling this very story. I want you just to listen to this.
It all started in 2018. The relationship started. It wasn't once, it wasn't twice. He kept demanding for sex. So when people are asking, did he rape you? So it wasn't a rape. So if you're saying you won't let me, it's the same thing that you have to use protection, whatever will happen, if at all anything will happen. I said, if that is the case, I will buy it for you. Yes, he said I should abort it. I told him I will not abort it. So this is the consequences of it, and I will not abort the pregnancy.
Please, I want you to hold your cool. This is not a seat of judgment for or against, but I want to bring out something deeper. Perhaps you have never seen things in this very direction. This is not woman. Should I tell you why? If you, as an offended person, having been able to see this man down, it's expected that this man may have died, may have been in coma, or may have been in a very complicated situation, because only if you survive issues like this. But come on, somebody in the nature of humans, having been able to see that God is already dealing with his enemy, and never had the opportunity, because in the last 1 month the man must have been either in coma or not been able to be accessible or not talking. He will not tell us that we may have had some interaction with her that may have provoked you. Now, within this period, this man is in this state. Somebody provoked, somebody resurrected an event that happened 2018, 5 years ago. Within less than 1 month of this man being in this condition, the agenda is beyond your social media analysis. I can put it to you. There is an agenda, and you know the agenda: strike the shepherd and the sheep will scatter. This is just a tip of the iceberg. I tell you, get this video to your pastor, to your members, to everyone you know. You know what? that your pastor you will one day in our generation, you will see on social media naked. But the issue is that what is the agenda? Listen to me. Let us have what is called analytical reasoning. If you see Lady Justice actually usually stand this way. And the eye is blinded. And that's why I want this your social media eyes be blinded, so that you have what Lady Justice said, preponderance of evidence and balance of probability. In that particular case, the evidences are there, but what is the overwhelming implication of this other side? So we now come home to say, what is the agenda? That a lady now acting victim, interesting. I will tell you, it's a recycling event. Now acting victim, happened to come out less than 1 month after this man is down. You know the mission? The mission is strike the shepherd, strike his family, strike his marriage, strike his congregation and their faith. This sheep will scatter. It is something played out. As a young boy, I followed a man of God in the United States called James Swagger. This was a very strong TV evangelist. Was quite an amazing thing over there in the United States. Just one day, somebody came, he had an affair with a lady in the hotel, and this man was subjected not to appear on television again, never be in position. Nobody heard about the man today. I don't also know the fate of the church. You know what? Strike the shepherd, the sheep will scatter. It is a defined process. You hear this? This young man is dead. He happened to be a gospel singer. And one occasion, a story of that nature, that he had an affair with one lady that came out and confessed. Everybody abandoned, nobody associated with him. He suffered that loneliness, and one day, of course, they come to kill, to steal, to destroy. The young man had a heart attack, collapsed. Today is in the grave. Agenda number 1, strike the shepherd, the sheep will scatter. The one that actually gave me a food for thought is that a lady married, perhaps agreed with the husband because the husband was also part of the sin, came up and said, 20 years ago, perhaps when this man may not have even known God or whatever, or been a pastor, he had an affair. He raped me. And surprisingly, not only from his church, that on a Sunday morning, a group of people, some came right from the nightclubs, rounded the church with a microphone. Listen to this.
Pastor Biadu must step down. Let us know who you are protecting. Let us know who you are protecting. Nigerian police, this thing is going live. Let us know who you are protecting.
Very familiar voice. What is the tone? They are not members of the church. But what? Strike the shepherd, the sheep will scatter. The man will have a heart attack and go. That's not two ways about that. Strike that shepherd, the sheep will scatter. It's a played out over the time. And I have a hero to show you. For some of you that are not sensitive, social media have destroyed the marriages of so many. See, you are a hero. This woman stood because strike the shepherd, the church will scatter, the marriage will scatter, the family will scatter, the children will scatter. She understands that. And they push that very pressure through the court that does not exist called social media. And you know what happened at the end of the day? This woman stood her ground. If she had, within that era, according to the social media philosophy, leave her marriage, that's as many people have left theirs. 3 months after, somebody else within the people that are blogging will go and say, man of God, you are the best in my life. And we share testimony for her place in the life of that same man. We have seen all this. We can't be deceived anymore. Have I been in position to empower anybody to go into wrong? Never. But the issue is that the time has come for this truth to be known. There is an agenda of the enemy to strike the shepherd, the sheep will scatter. To help you unmask this agenda, have you ever asked yourself, how did most of the social media narrative and all of that story concerning one man of God, one this man, how did it end? Did you discover that we do not know how most of them ended? You know what? The purpose has been achieved. Those that got their marriage scattered, those that left their marriage, nobody knows their state right now, what they are passing through. Nobody talks about them as a social media event again. They're passing through whatever they're passing through where they are. The agenda weaken them, weaken the salvation, weaken their faith in God, weaken their trust, shift their trust from God to what a man's imperfection could look like, which will remain an unstable state in their faith. Agenda accomplished. I tell you something. If sensitivity does not come into play to see this happening, I tell you, tell your pastor, tell your members, tell whosoever that you care, that this will bring the end of the church. You know what? In our time, I own an IT company that started its operation in the United States. I have understanding of the future to come. You will see your bishop go and tell him. You will see your bishop, your pastor sleeping with a woman naked on social media. You will see the very act. You will see, you will hear his voice. You will see him. It will not, there will be no different that will be him, but that will be powered by AI in our own time. What will rather happen in our time, social media will become a city of falsehood. There will be no difference between true and false. You can't make it out, no matter how intelligent you are. Go and keep it on record that there happened to be a time Dr. Richard Okoye revealed that this is the camp. What is it? It's an agenda. Strike the shepherd, the sheep will scatter. Church, open your eyes. This is the time. We have to put a stop to this. We're in the era where if you offended, why waiting years? Put it across. The court is there, the police is there, the human rights lawyers that are even willing to volunteer to protect the vulnerables, they are there. Let's allow the right thing to be done. The agenda is beyond the way you analyzing it here. It is time everyone begin to realize men of God, despite the mindset we have had about them today, I can tell you they are women. They face more temptation than you sitting down there to hear them out. It is your duty to pray for your pastor. Protect your pastor when you see certain environment not being what it's supposed to be. Omega Power Ministry, begin today to gather and pray for your pastor. Pray for your pastor. Jesus saw Peter failing. He said, Peter, the enemy has planned to sift you like wheat, but I prayed for you that your faith fail not. Pray for your pastor that his faith for you, for the people he was called for, will not fail. If you join this, if you join social media, even your own salvation will not be guaranteed. And as I told you, you will meet more. I'm telling you, you will meet. You will see nakedness on the road. You will later see the world almost be like Sodom and Gomorrah. Be prepared for it. But we are still quite hopeful that in the midst of it, there's still remnant that can be saved. Share this to every man of God. Share this to every church member. Share this to everybody you know. Your faith may be what is being attacked here. Give no place to that devil.